Today's Town of Chatham Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. The date is August 26th, 2021. This meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please let us know. This meeting of the ZBA is being conducted remotely in accordance with Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021 and shall afford adequate alternate means of public access via Microsoft Teams by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410. Then you have to punch in the conference ID number, which is 460-967-510#, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link that is posted in the agenda. Despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access, and we will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue/hearing or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair. The way we conduct the meeting is we have a roll call to authorize what I just read. Then I would say that any citizens or non-board members participating in the call via the phone need to give us their last name and the last 4 digits of their phone number for identification purposes. The hearing notice will be read by the lady to my right. This is our PPO, which is the Principal Permitting Officer, Sarah Clark. You and your representative that will then present the appeal or application. And then I would ask for anybody in favor to speak. I would then read any and all letters we received. Following that, I would ask that anyone who wishes to speak against the appeal or has a specific question may do so. There could be some rebuttal at that time. Then the board members would direct the questions to anyone present who had participated in the application discussion. The board would hear whatever kind of information we're given. Then we would close the public hearing and go into deliberation. Board votes in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts have to be a majority, and I mean a majority. That's 4 out of 5 must vote. It's a supermajority in favor to be successful. All votes will be taken by roll call. So we would first have a roll call to authorize this form of meeting, and I would start with Buck.
Am I supposed to do my name too?
Yeah,
Oh, James M. Upson, and I approve this form of meeting.
thank you.
Randy Potash, I approve this form of meeting.
William Grau, and I approve this form of meeting.
Megan Story, so approved.
Paul Semple, I approve this form of meeting.
David S. Nixon, I approve.
David H. Veach, I approve.
David R. Thompson, I so approve.
Okay, first we have application 21-044.
Application number 21-044, Alexandra Mitrakostas, care of Tony Gianfrido, P.O. Box 1383, South Dennis, Mass. 02660. Agreed lessee of property located at 1200 Main Street, also shown on the Town of Chatham's Assessor's Map 11E, Block 10A, Lot 31A. The applicant proposes to establish and operate a formula business, restaurant, under Section 3C4C of the Protective Bylaw. The applicant is and proposes to do business as a restaurant, Honeydew Donuts, which utilizes a standard array of merchandise, logo, layout, symbol, and signage utilized by 10 or more other businesses worldwide. The property contains 20,316 square feet in a GB3 zoning district. A special permit is required under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and Sections 3C4C and 8D2B of the Chatham Protective Bylaw. This was continued from June 10th, 2021.
On August 9th, Sarah received the following note. Sorry for the last-minute notice, but per my voicemail, we will be withdrawing our application for 1200 Main Street and Honeydew Donuts. Due to some business concerns, we cannot feasibly move forward. We also need to focus on our other potential location in West Yarmouth. I wanted to thank everyone for your assistance during this entire process. So for the record, I, Tony Gianfrido, would like to formally request to withdraw our application for 1200 Main Street without prejudice. Is there any discussion? Paul?
This is Paul Semple. I'll move to grant the requested withdrawal without prejudice.
Dave Veach seconds.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. That's a unanimous vote. Okay, Sarah, let's go on to 21-066.
Application number 21-066, CBI Owner LLC, care of Andrew Singer Esquire, P.O. Box 67, Dennisport, Mass. 02639. Owners of property located at 356 Shore Road and 366 Shore Road, also shown on the Town of Chatham's Assessor's Map 16F, Block 25, Lot E5, and Map 16F, Block 24A, Lot E6. The applicant seeks to construct an elevated stairway, landings, and install a seasonal rollout walkway in the Coastal Conservancy District to further alter, extend, and expand a pre-existing nonconforming use, hotel. The lot contains 5.6 acres total in the R40 zoning district. A special permit is required under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 6 and 9, and Sections 4A, 3A, 5B, and 8D, 2B of the Chatham Protective Bylaw.
On August 18th, we received the following letter. This is from Andrew L. Singer. Dear members of the board, I am writing on behalf of the applicant in the above referenced matter to respectfully request that the meeting scheduled for August 26th on this application be continued to October 14th, 2021, to allow time for the Conservation Commission to complete its review of the proposal. Once available, revived plans will be submitted to the board. Thank you for your consideration of the applicant's proposal. Any discussion?
This is Paul Semple. I'll move to grant the requested continuance to October 14th.
Dave Veach seconds.
All those in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Okay, back to 21-064.
Application number 21-064, Paul A. and Deborah B. Izzo, care of Thad Eldridge, 1038 Main Street, Chatham, Mass. 02633. Owners of property located at 40 Old Cartway, also shown on the Town of Chatham's Assessor's Map 9B, Block 5, Lot 8B. The applicant seeks to enlarge, extend, or change a nonconforming dwelling on a nonconforming lot via the demolition of the existing dwelling and the construction of a new dwelling. The existing dwelling is nonconforming in that it is located 23.4 feet from the road, where a 25-foot setback is required, and 14.2 feet from the southerly abutter, where a 15-foot setback is required. The proposed dwelling will comply with all bulk and dimensional requirements of the bylaw, but are considered a substantial alteration, and under the second except clause of Section 6 of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, such substantial alteration requires the grant of a special permit. The existing building coverage is 1,196 square feet, 8.6%, and the proposed building coverage is 1,612 square feet, 11.5%, where 15% is the maximum allowed. The lot is nonconforming in that it contains 14,439 square feet, where 20,000 square feet is required in the R20 zoning district. A special permit is required under Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 6, and Section 5B of the Protective Bylaw.
I understand that Thad is joining us from Serbia. Thad, are
Hello,
you
can
there?
you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Thad.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. So Thad Eldridge, east southeast, further east than usual. As Sarah mentioned, it's a tear down and rebuild of an existing dwelling. And I have a challenge for everybody. Did anybody find the front door? The Izzos have been in the house for about 12 years now, and they've never had a front door, so they're excited to have one now. To run through the criteria, the lot coverage will remain conforming, and so the size of the lot is obviously adequate. The homes in the neighborhood range from 900 square feet to 2,800 square feet, and this proposed footprint will fall the low end of the middle at 1612. The There will be no increase in the non-conforming nature of this dwelling. Everything will be brought into conformity. We're expecting a minimal impact on the neighboring properties and no impact on the natural environment. The proposal will change from a ranch to a custom cape. It'll be well suited to the streetscape, and there are no views or vistas to be impacted. The proposed use will continue to be residential as it has been, as will the number of bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. We're not anticipating any impact on traffic flow, noise, litter. The utilities are adequate here, and we're not in a floodplain. If there are any questions, I'd be very happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here or in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this application? The gentleman in the front row. If you would go over to the microphones, please. And you'll find that you need to turn them on. You hit the button that's red, and it should turn green.
My name is Paul Izzo. My wife and I own the lovely little Cape at 40 Old Cart Way. We purchased that house. I'm a public school teacher, and so I have spent the last many, many summers down here in Chatham, and my wife and I have always dreamed of retiring here. The house is not adequate, though, for an older couple. The washing and dryer machine are in an unfinished basement that you can only access from the bulkhead. It's not a very pleasant space to do your laundry. It doesn't have any central air conditioning. The ceilings are about this high above my head. My wife suffers from a serious ankle disability. Going up and down those stairs into the basement is just not possible anymore. So we are looking to create a house that's a little more suitable for an older couple. We're not quite there yet, but we're looking ahead. A house that's suitable for retirement that is consistent with what we have now in terms of its view in the neighborhood. We've spoken to the builder about, we don't want a giant trophy house. We just want something that's suitable for an older couple. We've made sure that our setbacks are within the requirements. We've made sure not to expand the footprint of the house more than 2 or 3%. And I am hopeful that our application will be approved, and I'm happy to answer any questions that
Thank you very much.
you people might have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this? Is there anyone, Chantel, that you can see out there? Okay, I will then read the correspondence. First is a memo. This is from Judith Giorgio, health agent for the town of Chatham. I have reviewed the plan to demo and rebuild. The proposal does not appear to add septic flow. However, a floor plan of the existing dwelling will be needed for review to compare the existing and proposed flows. That was written on 8/24. Then we have a letter. This is from Kathleen Bowen of 38 Old Cartway. On August 20, she writes, this letter is being submitted to the board to indicate my overwhelming approval of this application by Paul and Deborah. I recently visited the annex to inform the town of a new mailing address for myself. During my visit, I asked a few questions regarding the process and the need for a variance. Apparently, this was interpreted as some sort of objection to the proposed plans. Let the record show that this is not the case. I know the Izzos to be fine people who are honorable and caring. Thank you for your understanding of this matter. There's one, I should, for those listening, this is not a variance, this is a special permit. Then we have a handwritten letter, which are always troubles for me. That's from the Arnolds, and they are at 39 Old Cartway, and it was received on August 19th. Please be advised that I have no objection that Paul and Deborah will demolish their home and will construct a new dwelling on the site. And then we have a note. This is from Michael DeFazio, 34 Old Cartway. And this was received also on August 19th. Please be advised I have no objection that Paul and Deborah will demolish their home and construct a new dwelling on the site. That is the total amount of the correspondence. Is there anyone here in the audience today or out there that wishes to speak against this or has a specific question? If so, please indicate now that you would.
I see no one that wishes to speak in opposition or has a specific question.
Okay, so we'll have questions from the board. We'll start with Buck.
Mr. Chair, I have no questions.
I have no questions.
No questions.
No questions.
No questions.
I have no questions.
I have no questions either.
Well, that makes it unanimous. Okay, Paul?
I'll move to close the hearing and move into deliberations.
Dave Veach seconds.
Okay, that takes a vote. All in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Deliberations. Who would like to, how about Randy? We'll start with Randy.
So I wish them well, and if I were voting, I would definitely say that it meets the criteria and it looks like a good project.
Bill?
I would agree 100% with Randy.
Megan?
I agree as well. I love the project. I think it's perfect for the neighborhood, which I always appreciate.
Paul?
I agree. It satisfies our criteria and it's certainly not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood.
Agreed.
I agreed with Dave.
Okay. So, do we need to condition this, Paul?
It seems to me it's pretty much out of the way. I don't see a need to condition, frankly.
Okay. Everyone agree on that? Yeah, okay.
I will move to approve the application as submitted.
Dave Veach seconds.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. That's a unanimous vote. Thank you, Mr. Rizzo, and thank you, Thad.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck. So, Sarah, 21-065, please.
Application number 21-065, Richard B. and Brenda L. Viola, care of Thad Eldridge, 1038 Main Street, Chatham, Mass. 02633, owners of property located at 11 Air Lane, also shown on the Town of Chatham's Assessor's Map 14H, Block 51, Lot B18A. The applicant seeks to enlarge, extend, or change a nonconforming dwelling on a nonconforming lot via the construction of a second-floor addition within the easterly abutters setback where a 25-foot setback is required. The existing dwelling is nonconforming in that it is located 38.6 feet from the street where a 40-foot setback is required, 15.8 feet from the westerly abutter, and 15.9 feet from the easterly abutter where a 25-foot setback is required. The proposed second-floor addition will be nonconforming in that it will be located 15.9 feet from the easterly abutter where a 25-foot setback is required. The building coverage is 1,663 square feet, 14.2%, where 15% is the maximum allowed. The lot is nonconforming in that it contains 11,693 square feet, where 40,000 square feet is required in the R40 zoning district. A special permit is required under Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 6, and Section 5B of the Chatham Protective Bylaw.
Thad, are you still with us?
That I am. Good
Okay.
afternoon.
The floor is
For
yours.
Thank you. For the record, Thad Eldridge, east-southeast. As Sarah mentioned, we have a non-conforming house on a non-conforming lot, and we're proposing a second-floor addition to add a bonus room. The building coverage will not increase, so the adequacy and size of the site is not in question. The footprints of the houses within vicinity of the project range from about 1,000 feet to 2,400 square feet. The existing dwelling falls in the middle range. About half the homes in the vicinity are 1.5-story to 2-story dwellings, so this will fit right in. The proposed dimensional setbacks will remain the same as we're keeping this addition right in the footprint, and that does put the proposed work within the setback. The proposal will have a minimal impact on neighboring properties. The impacts on the natural environment are the same. The existing house is part of the streetscape. The proposed addition is in kind to the existing house, and so therefore it will be in kind with the streetscape. It will continue to be residential. The number of bedrooms will remain the same, and we're not changing traffic flow, noise litter. The utilities are all adequate, and we're not in a floodplain. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Is there anyone either here or in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this application?
I see no one in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this application.
Okay, so I will read the correspondence. First is a memo. This is from Judith Giorgio, the town's health agent. I have reviewed the plan to renovate. The renovations and additions do not add septic flow. I have no concerns. That was written on 8/24. And then we have a memo addressed to Sarah from Gregory Roach. And this was written on August 14th. Myself and my wife are the owners of the property located at 18 Air Lane and are abutters of the property at 11. Please be advised that we are in support of their application for a special permit in connection with the above matter. Thank you. Then we have a memo. This is from Dr. and Mrs. Julian Lavelle, Levell. And they write on August 11th, thank you for your letter dated August 6th, providing us with a notice of the public hearing with the zoning board to be held on August 26th. We are the owners of 21. Mr. and Mrs. Viola have kindly already provided us with full details of the proposed second floor addition, and we are in support of their application. And then we have a note. This is from Robert and Tracy Patrick. They write on July 23rd, as neighbors, we have reviewed the plans for the second floor bonus room over the garage, and we have no issues with the proposal. We are very supportive of the Viola's plan and appreciate the communication. And their address is 184 Shane Drive. And that is the total amount of the correspondence. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak against this application or has a specific question? If so, please indicate on the screen now so that Sarah can recognize you.
There is no one in the audience that would like to speak in opposition or has a specific question.
Okay. Questions from the board. Let's start with Bill.
I have no questions with this proposal.
Megan.
I have no questions.
Paul.
My only question would be, is there any intent to illuminate the cupola that's shown on the bonus room?
Did you hear that, Thad?
I did. We would be happy to accept a condition that it not be illuminated.
I have no other questions.
I have no questions, Dave.
I wouldn't dare. I have no questions.
Buck.
I have no questions.
Randy.
No questions.
I don't have any questions, but thank you, Paul.
This is Paul Semple. I'll move to close the hearing and move into deliberations.
Dave Veach seconds.
That needs a vote. All in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Okay, Megan.
I certainly don't think it's any more detrimental to the neighborhood. I think it fits in perfectly. It seems to meet all of our criteria.
Certainly seems to me it fits into the criteria and the neighborhood, so I have no objections to it.
I agree.
I agree also.
I agree.
I not only agree, but I think it's a bonus that the neighbors have gone on the record to say that they are in support of the project.
Bill.
I would also agree that this is a good project.
Okay, and I like very much Paul's suggestion. Is there anything else besides that one condition?
Well, I guess the other question would be, when did they plan to do their construction here? There is a lot of room on that lot, but it's an active neighborhood.
Yeah. Thad, answered for, yep.
I believe they're ready to start in September. With the plan of having everything done by next summer.
So if we use the standard conditions, would that be satisfactory?
Absolutely no work between,
That would be all construction activity and vehicles to be contained on site between June 30th and Labor Day. No exterior construction will be allowed. No work shall be permitted on the weekends, and construction activity would be between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. only.
that would be acceptable.
Thank you. I will move to approve the application as submitted with those conditions,
And the other condition
And
about unlit cupola.
that the cupola remain unlit.
Okay.
Dave Veach seconds.
All right, all those in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Thank you, Thad.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarah, 21-069.
Application number 21-069, Eric and Gina Auger, care of William F. Riley Esquire, P.O. Box 707, Chatham, Mass. 02633, owner of property located at 90 Honeysuckle Lane, also shown on the Town of Chatham's Assessor's Map 13B, Block 17, Lot 17. The applicant seeks to enlarge, extend, or change a nonconforming dwelling on a nonconforming lot via the extension of a cantilevered deck. The existing dwelling is nonconforming in that it is located 15 feet from the Inland Conservancy District and within the Coastal Conservancy District. The proposed deck will be nonconforming in that it will be located 21 feet from the Inland Conservancy District where a 25-foot setback is required, and within the Coastal Conservancy District where a 50-foot setback is required. The lot is nonconforming in that it contains 3,651 square feet of buildable upland where 20,000 square feet is required, and contains 20,600 square feet where 40,000 square feet is required in the R40 zoning district. A special permit is required under Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 6 and 9, and Sections 5B and 8D2B of the Chatham Protective Bylaw.
And before Mr. Riley starts, I have to say, this is our first live performance since March of 2020. So, welcome, Mr. Riley. The
Well,
floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Bill Riley, on behalf of Eric and Gina Auger. This is a pretty modest request. I've attached a third sheet that compares the original deck on the front of the house to the proposed deck. Basically, they wanted to add an additional 5 feet so that the deck would be the same dimension off the house that the previously approved porch is. Now, I have to apologize on behalf of my clients and for me, and that's one reason why I came here, because you can't fall on your sword virtually. You have to come in and do it in person. The Augers asked, gee, do you think it's okay if we keep moving with the construction? I said, sure, because we're going to file right away. Only there was a miscommunication between my office and Mr. Clark's as a result of my problem. And so we were several months late in filing. So the deck, as requested, has already been constructed, if you've been out there. So I just wanted to apologize for that.
Thank you.
But it's, as you can tell, it's a very modest change, and so it's coming a little closer to the Conservancy District line, about 4 or 5 feet. The size of the structure is not changing, just that overhang from the deck. So that is an increase in a non-conforming nature because the widened deck will be 4 or 5 feet closer to the Conservancy District. The Conservation Commission has already approved the work because, of course, it doesn't touch the ground. And and in terms of impact of scale, siding, and mass, as far as I could tell, it wasn't visible unless you walked out and stood underneath it. So, which I did this morning. And, down in the woods down there, I think as long as you're not bothering your neighbors, everything's compatible. So that would be our presentation.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this application? No, okay. Anyone out there in Microsoft Teams world?
There is no one in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of this application.
Okay, then I will read the correspondence. First of all, from Judith Giorgio, health agent. On 8/24, I have no concerns regarding the construction of an extended cantilever deck. Then we have a note. This is from Nicole Smith, the conservation agent for the town. She writes on August 16th, the Conservation Commission approved the deck expansion in December of 2020. However, the site plan given to the ZBA and the plan approved by the commission do not match. The deck footprint is the same, but our plan has eliminated some retaining wall and driveway expansion. And that is the extent of the correspondence. Is there anyone either here or watching us that wishes to speak either against this or has a specific question? If so, please indicate on the screen now so that Sarah can recognize you.
There is no one in the audience that wishes to speak in opposition or has a specific question.
Okay, questions from the board? Dave?
Any questions I had were answered by Mr. Riley's
Okay.
presentation. Thanks.
I have no questions of Mr. Riley.
Buck?
That's 3. I have no questions.
Randy?
No questions.
Bill?
No questions.
Megan?
No questions? I'm
Oh.
glad I'm not crazy.
No questions.
Okay.
I'll move to close the hearing and move into deliberations.
Dave Veach seconds.
All in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Deliberations? Dave T.
I have no comments. It's a interesting little piece of property. That's all.
It's definitely not detrimental to the neighborhood, and I would support it.
Randy?
If I were voting, I'd say the same. It's
Bill?
not detrimental.
I would also support it, voting.
Megan?
Agreed.
Yes, I agree. It's not more detrimental to the neighborhood.
And I agree.
Okay. Any conditions, Paul, since it's already been done? How about if they have to tear it apart and put it back together?
They're doing a lot of stonework out there right now.
Yeah, I noticed that. The stonework was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, I will move to approve the application as submitted.
Dave Veach seconds.
All those in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Thank you, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, members of the commission, zoning board.
Okay, other business. Does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss? I don't think so. That's good. I will tell you all that I will be missing for the next meeting. I'll be on assignment elsewhere. And Paul reluctantly has agreed to chair the meeting. So I know you'll treat him with, well, however they want to treat you, Paul. Yeah,
Oh, well.
yeah.
I'll have to look at the list.
Thank you.
I know you were the last time, I think.
So I don't think it's me.
No,
I'm
I
out
thi-
of town
I-
until that day.
I believe Bill
Oh.
is next in rotation for voting.
Okay. Just because I'm out of town until that day, so I should be here, but if for something happens, then.
Sarah will announce it. Yeah,
Yep,
that's right.
no problem.
Okay.
We
Yeah, I'll bet there will be. All right,
do have the minutes of August 12th to vote on.
okay.
Move to approve the minutes of August 12th as submitted.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, that's a unanimous vote. I don't think we have anything else, so thank you one and all, and we stand adjourned.
Because this is a virtual meeting, we do need a motion and a vote, please.
I always try and get away with no. Can't we get away with it once? All right.
Move to close the meeting and take a vote to that effect.
So Dave Veach seconds.
All right, everybody gets to vote. Buck, yeah, Randy, Bill, Megan, Paul, and I'll vote too. So there you go. There you go. A unanimous thing on the minutes.
Thank you.
Now, we're adjourned.
We are officially adjourned at 4:35 PM.
How about that, huh?